Hello, welcome to Made to Heal with Angela Brown. The last video I talked about the three things that are super helpful to get a closer connection and a stronger bond with God. And so, the three things, I'll just go over it briefly because I'm going to focus on the first one today. So, it's first of all surrender, surrendering your will to His will. That's pretty hard, right? And then the second is asking questions, going to Him for your problems and for answers rather than turning to social media and to friends. And then the third is to trust the answer and trust the process. Trust Heavenly Father. Trust that you're on the path that He needs you to be on. So I wanted to focus on mostly today about the whole surrender thing because surrendering is hard, and the natural man in us, we just want to do things our way. When there's a problem that comes up, we just focus on, first of all, we are in a frenzy. Usually we feel out of control, and we feel like we've got to have some sense of control over the issue. And so it's always, we turn to ourselves, like, what should I do about this? I don't know. Gosh, this is really hard. And then we'll start turning to our neighbor or our spouse or our kids or somebody that's close to us. Just, I have this problem and I don't know how to solve it, and I really need help, right? We just go in frantic mode. At least that's me sometimes. But it's not natural, I think, out of sight, out of mind, right? God is not visible to us. He's in us. He's always there, but He's not visible to us. And so I just kind of liken that to out of sight, out of mind. My thing is, you know, if I want to make sure I use something, let's see, I don't know, I just say that out of sight, out of mind all the time to people, like, oh gosh, yeah, if it's not like right in front of my face, then I just don't really think about it. So God isn't in front of our face. We just, our natural eyes just don't see that as the first source to go to. And so when we can really turn to Him and get ourselves, so that's what it is we get in our own way all the time. We get in our own way when we think, okay, we can figure this out. We've got this. But in reality, we can't. It's stuff that we can't do on our own. We all need God. And so surrendering is the best thing we can do, to surrender. And what does it take when we surrender? You know what? It takes humility. It takes, you know what? I'm lost. I don't know what I'm doing. When we confront and approach God, it's, I need help. I'm coming to you because I can't do it on my own. And so that surrender and having that complete humility. And then when we have, just um, being submissive, you think of small children and their parents, they are submissive, right? They're like, oh, okay, I'm going to trust that you have my best interest at heart. And it's just being submissive to the whole process. So it takes time, it takes practice. Uh, you know, Healing is a journey. It's not, I talk about the importance of healing spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically, but you're never done being healed. I honestly think that happens when Christ comes to the earth again, right? That's when true healing will take place. But we're never completely healed. Our healing journey is a process. And so there's times where I turn to God right first from the get go. And then there's times where I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I let this much time go past before I used God, before I turned to God and asked for His counsel? So it's so important that we are able to recognize that surrendering is the most important part, because there's a lot of knowledge that we get, whether it be through the television, through social media, through our friends. I admire a lot of people for their keen mind and their smart intellect. And I think, wow, I'm just a simple person. I think simply. I I don't delve deep like some people do. And I'm like, wow, just I really admire that about them. But and I'll look at different things that I want to do because, oh, I want to learn from these people or this person. But in the end, God has all the answers. He has all the knowledge. He has all the power. And why not turn to Him? Why not turn to His source, His light, His knowledge, His love when we need help? Because that's where we're truly going to get the help that we need. So it's to trust that and not to forget that He is the first choice always. So surrendering is just, hey, my will is out the door now. It's shedding that pride. It's getting rid of I'll do this all on my own. It's getting rid of the natural man. It's getting rid of ourselves that get in the way, right? It's getting rid of ourselves that get in our own dang way. So just literally, it's okay, God, thy will be done, and I'm gonna get out of my way because you obviously know what's best for me. He's carried you this far, right? So surrendering is so important to for that first connection to God, because when we are humble and we come to God in humility, that is opening our hearts and our minds, and it's saying we're ready to just forsake everything that we thought was best for us, and it's saying, look, God, I am ready. I'm ready to do it your way. What is your way? What is thy will? And then when things happen in our lives, because when we surrender to God, it doesn't mean we're not going to have trials in our life. It doesn't mean it'll be a cakewalk through the rest of our lives. It means when we surrender to God, we draw upon His strength. We draw upon His love. We draw upon His wisdom. And that is the most beautiful part, because when we feel that connection, we can feel at peace when the storms around us rage and we're getting beat down and torn down by life. It is important that we understand that full surrender helps us to have that connection. So thank you for subscribing and watching. And also, I am going to put that invitation. There is a link in the comments below that I offer a Christian course for women, and for Christian women, and it is a 12-week online course. So wherever you find yourself at in this world, and I struggled for 30 plus years with depression, with suicidal thoughts, with anger, with resentment, with a whole lot of grief, and I had a lot of childhood trauma that I didn't know how to process, and I just did not feel worthy. I didn't feel love. I didn't feel like I could approach God because I wasn't worthy. I just didn't feel it. That's what I felt. And when I hit rock bottom, I slowly but surely learned, God taught me the steps and the tools and the techniques that would help me learn this, because I didn't know how. And going to church every week and reading my scriptures and praying was just not enough. Those were the basic tools. Those were the foundation tools that helped me tremendously. But yet there were things that I still needed help with. And so He led me to books, He led me to classes and courses, and He led me to people and music and so many different forms of healing, right? And I was able to be on a path of healing spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Like I said, you're never done, right? It's a process, and healing takes time, and sometimes you'll take 10 steps forward and then 20 steps back. But the thing of it is I don't stay in the muck of depression and suicidal thoughts like I had in the past, because I have those tools. And so I believe if I could heal and get in a healthy healing position in these areas, then I know you can too. And so walk with me on this journey. Grab your mom, grab your sisters, grab your neighbor or your best friends, whatever, and come join this journey with me and get on to healing spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically, and have that connection with God, a strong connection with God and yourself, and others around you. It's all about connection and sharing the pure love of Christ. So anyway, thanks again for watching and subscribing, and go ahead and click on that link and check it out in the comments below. God bless. Bye.